And welcome back to WQMC Radio. My name is Gary Younger. This is the fifth quarter, 718-997-3987, 718-997-3987. You like to call in. Check us out on Facebook at the fifth quarter. Check the Twitter page at WQMC 5th that's 5THQ. Check out the website, thefifthquarter.org. Bunch of great articles up, including one the man on the phone right now just put up. Our resident NHL beat reporter, Jeremy Tugg. Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing good. Let's start off with the Devils, and more specifically, I don't typically do this. Let's focus on one specific play, just to start off because it was that good. The Corey Schneider save on Phil Kessel. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, unbelievable save. One of the tops of the year, comes across and makes a beautiful save. I mean, the fact that it was in overtime makes it that much better because it saved the game, even though they did lose in a shootout. But great save all around, indicative to how they've been playing lately.
Absolutely. They've picked their record up. They've been playing particularly strong at home, where the record's 3-1-2, as opposed to on the road. They are 2-6-3. But in shootouts, they haven't won a shootout yet. Is there any worry right now about that, or is it just still, you gotta grow into it?
Not only have they not won a shootout, they haven't scored a goal in the shootout. I am very worried about that. Shootouts are, mostly fun ways for the fans to enjoy more of the game, but you gotta get points out of that. Those are points at hand that they're just missing every time. You gotta get those. And back when the Devils made their cup run in 2012, that season they won, I think, 12 something like that shootouts. They're not getting those points, and they can really hurt. As much as the Devils have been playing well lately, once it kind of gets to the shootout, they've been counting themselves out from the beginning.
The Devils hold the worst record in the NHL for in shootouts this year. They're 0-4. The second closest is 0-3 for a tie between the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes. Going over to the Islanders now. Start off with the locals. Thomas Vanek, the big piece they got in the trade in the Matt Molson deal, is now hurt. How much does that hurt the team?
Well, it didn't help, that's for sure. But he hasn't been doing great lately. Like, he started strong with 3 points in his first 2 games, but in the last 4 for the Islanders, he's gotten 1. Also, the Islanders in those last 4 games got a grand total of 0 points in the standings. They've been struggling mightily lately, and they haven't been getting a lot of offense outside of Tavares, Nielsen, and Kyle Opozo. Those 3 guys have 20 or 19 points. The next guy up is Grabner, who has 8 points. So they've got to get more scoring out of everybody. So the loss of Vanek certainly can't help because he's one of the guys who they really depend on.
Vanek's numbers, he's had 3 points in 6 games this year so far. The injuries, they're still doing evaluations. What happened was, just for people who don't know, Blue Jackets defenseman Jack Johnson slashed him on the wrist, and that was essentially the final blow, but he wasn't doing well all day. He was having problems with his neck. He fell during his first shift. He only played 23 seconds in that game, in total, actually. And the Islanders won't release any more information than it's just an upper body injury. With this move, if it doesn't work out, because they traded the first round pick along with a guy like Molson, could this threaten to hurt Garth Snow even worse than his reputation already is?
I mean, the trade was kind of stinky because they traded away some of their best chemistry in Tavares with Molson. Molson's now with Buffalo, and he's been doing okay. I mean, their entire first line got benched in the game against Anaheim. But the chemistry just doesn't seem to be there as much as it was with Molson. So the trade, it wasn't Snow's fault because obviously he made a big splash and Vanek somebody to get excited about. But it didn't help them immediately. And if it doesn't pay off immediately, what's the point of the trade? They're both free agents at the end of the year.
Do you think this could cost him his job if it really doesn't work out?
No, I don't think so because right from the outset, even though the Sabres probably won that deal, it's still a good move for the Islanders because they're in win-now mode. as opposed to rebuilding mode with Buffalo, excuse me. So it wasn't a bad move. I don't blame Snow for it at all. And just because Vanek seems to be sputtering and also getting hurt, it doesn't threaten Snow's job at all because he made a great move. It's just that the player himself is kind of, doing what he's doing. He's not doing all that great.
Over at MSG, the Rangers are also on a hot streak. They've won 3 in a row. They're playing well at home. They're 4-2 now. They've shot up now already to 3rd in the Metropolitan Conference. How much do you attribute this to the return of Callahan? How much do you attribute this to the return to MSG?
It's got a lot to do with Callahan because he's got 7 points in the 9 games he's played. He's very important to the Rangers. Also, the captain is a guy who can put the puck in the net and bring some talent to the front six. And also, of course, you mentioned earlier the Devils. Playing at home is very important. You got the home fans behind you. There are certain aspects to the game itself, like who gets first spot in face-off and who gets the last line change, that are very important in hockey, and home team gets advantage on both of those. So playing at home is a very different game than playing on the road, and it's that playing a bunch of games at home and winning a few games, even maybe a tough loss to a big team, like that game gets Anaheim, to give you a shot in the arm. So the Rangers have definitely received some of that help. It's not just all Callahan, but also the fact that they've been playing in Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm. Just a note on the Islanders, they're on a free fall right now. They've lost their last 4 in a row, and they're just tumbling right now. This Vanek injury is not going to help. Going on a national scale right now, it seems like, and we've spoken about this every week, and we'll bring it up again, it seems like no one can stop the Ducks right now. They've won 5 in a row. They're 15-3 with 1 overtime loss. They're 8-0 at home. Is there anyone in this league right now that can stop them?
I can say there's a couple of teams that could put up a fight. That would be the Blackhawks and the Avalanche. But the Ducks have some of the best forwards in the league in Getzlaf and Corey Perry, both of which are in the top 5 in goals. And also the emergence of Frederik Andersen as a third option in net. He won one of the top 3 stars in the NHL this week. He's been phenomenal. So they have a ton of talent, and no one's winning on the pond except for the Ducks. So while, yes, it's very hard to see anybody beating them, there are a couple of teams who can put up a fight.
And one you mentioned is Colorado. They're 14-2. They haven't gone to overtime this year, even. And they've got a 26-point they're plus 26 point differential, which leads the NHL. They are on an absolute they are on fire right now as well, along with the Blackhawks, who are also 12-2. What do you think the reason is that we're seeing so many? And granted, it's very early in the year, but it seems like, at least to me, there are a lot of elite-looking teams in the league this year.
Well, yeah, there are, but again, that also leads to a lot of mediocre records. Like you look at Edmonton, Buffalo, and Calgary. Those teams are not getting off to the start they want to, obviously. But it's just a testament to how well these teams are built through drafting and prospects. Colorado's guys are all young guys who they've drafted. Same with Chicago, for the most part, same with Anaheim. So all those teams are built from the bottom up, and it serves them really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Speaking going over to the Eastern Conference, the leader right now in that pack are the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're 12-4. Again, also haven't gone to overtime this year. Talk about the play of Tampa, and specifically the play of Steven Stamkos.
Well, he's one of the best in the league for a reason. He puts the puck in the net. He makes everyone around him better. He gets the offense going, and this offense is one of the most dangerous ones in the league. Even though they aren't tops in the league in goals scored, they're still very dangerous. And as long as Stamkos and Marty St. Louis are on the ice, and if Ben Bishop remains hot, this team's going to keep winning.
Absolutely. Let's talk about right now Veterans Day. We got a couple games going on right now, but today also is they're inducting the players for the 2013 Hall of Fame. No, the notable ones from at least our eyes, Niedermeyer, Chris Chelios, and Brendan Shanahan. Which one of these three do you? Let's start off with this. Which one of these three do you think is the most deserving to go in?
That is an extremely difficult question.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have championship pedigrees. Chelios and Brendan Shanahan with the Red Wings, and Niedermeyer with the Devils and Ducks. There's really no one of those three deserving more than the other. They all have winning pedigrees, and they all have the stats to back it up. And when they're on the ice, people are afraid of them. You really cannot say one deserves it more than the other.
We've got breaking news coming into WQMC Radio. Steven Stamkos has been taken off the ice today in a stretcher. They're playing right now against the Bruins. Again, today's Veterans Day. They're playing a matinee. Steven Stamkos has been taken off on a stretcher against the Bruins with an apparent leg injury. How bad? We were just speaking how good he was. How much does this affect Tampa Bay?
That hurts.
Besides, the obvious.
He's the backbone of their offense. You can't afford to lose somebody like him. This is actually the first I'm hearing about it, so I can't really, quantify how bad it would hurt yet. But if it's really as bad as it looks, if he's getting stretched off, that's really, really bad for the Lightning.
We'll try to get more information on it right now while we're on the air. But going back 1 second to the Hall of Fame thing. You're a Devils fan, admittedly.
Of course.
How does it feel having Niedermeyer go in today?
Oh man, watching him as growing up as a kid, I had his autograph. He was one of my favorite players. Him and Scott Stevens together, it just means a lot. And the 3 cups were maybe not even possible without Niedermeyer around. You'll remember that goal in the '95 Cup Finals against the Red Wings that really set the stage for the rest of the sweep. And all around, as a member of the Devils throughout those seasons, he's been one of, if not the best defensemen they've ever had. And he's deserving of every honor he gets from here on out, from his retirement, number of retirements in the Prudential Center to the Hall of Fame. It's just amazing.
While we're on the topic of the Devils, once again, a longtime Devil just retired. Speak about that.
Jason Arnott, he retired, and he will be remembered a lot for that 2000 Stanley Cup winning goal in overtime, Game 6 in Dallas. And he's also a member of the A-line, along with Patrick Elias and Peter Sikora. Also, another one of my favorite guys growing up, and it's truly, it makes me feel old that he's retiring, but he was a very deserving player of every honor he receives from here on out. He's a great player, but his team first, and I can't say a lot more than that because his play just spoke for itself.
A little news coming in right now on Stamkos, in addition to what we reported. What happened was, as I'm watching the clip, Stamkos goes, he went and dove into the net. He was grimacing he hurt his right leg, he's grimacing on the ground in pain. He attempted briefly to try to skate off the ice, he couldn't do it, and he had to be taken off on a stretcher. Best wishes go out to him and the entire Lightning organization right now. That is just an unfortunate situation. A couple more things. While we're on the topic of the guy who hasn't retired, he actually just found a new team, is Ilya Bryzgalov. Tell me a little bit about where he tell everyone where he just landed.
He just landed in what he thinks is the North Pole. He landed with Edmonton, who had to trade Ladislav Schmid, a veteran defenseman, in order to get the cap room to sign him. So this situation in Edmonton has just gone from bad to now a little bit baffling also, because Bryzgalov is coming off of those years in Philadelphia where he was put under the radar and put under the microscope for so long that he started to struggle, as well as his very friendly personality, to put it lightly. Will that help Edmonton? I don't think so this year. They're good and done, especially in the top Pacific. But it'll be interesting to see how he plays out because Edmonton is just as tough on their goalies as Philadelphia is. And I read an interesting piece this morning on the trade that got through to help the signing of Rizal, and that the Edmonton Oilers are kind of in a state of flux now because they keep trading their young guys to get veterans, but now the young guys that they got in exchange for those veterans are becoming the veterans they're trading away to get young guys. That sounds confusing, but they're really not helping their own cause by all of this movement and whatnot. It's just a neutral move, I think, because of the nature of how they're going around it. But hey, Rizal gets to play again. Fun stuff. That's all I can say.
The Pacific Division right now, Edmonton's in dead last. That's the same division as Anaheim, who's 15-3. Phoenix, who's 12-4. San Jose, 10-2. You also got the Canucks and the Kings, who are always dangerous. It looks pretty much like a moot point out there in Edmonton. Looking here, trying to get more information on the Stamkos injury. They was just reported they'll let everyone know as soon as there is anything to release. At the moment, they're just trying to evaluate him and see what's going on with him. Another, everyone was talking about the rookie from San Jose. There's another rookie, actually, on Nashville, rookie defenseman by the name of Thess Jones, who's had ups and downs this year, but he's been very impressive. Can you speak on him a little bit?
He's been fantastic for the Predators. He fell into their lap, and he was projected to go first overall to Colorado, but they passed on him. His play on offense and defense has been fantastic for Nashville, just what they asked for from a rookie. Even though Nashville has been getting pounded lately, Thess Jones has been a bright spot. He has 7 points in 17 games. That's very good for a defenseman. And although his plus-minus is -5, he's still at a good pace, and he's a rookie. He'll get better. It's fantastic, to say the least.
We'll close out on this. Actually, right before I close out, I'm going to give a quote right now from Brendan Shanahan. I want your thoughts on this. Last night, I had dinner with a lot of family and friends and some ex-teammates. At the end of the dinner, some of the people stood up and took turns telling me stories. To me, that was very personal and a real wow moment. Brendan Shanahan, who will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, that was just a quick little quote just to show you guys the type of guy Brendan Shanahan is. Last thing before I let you go. There's already the rumblings on next year's Hall of Fame. Guys who are up are former Dallas star Mike Modano, Dominic Hasek, Peter Forsberg. Of those three, who do you think is most likely to get in?
I don't know. I think they all might get in because growing up and watching those three guys, those are household names for me. And Modano for sure because he's won cups and he's the highest scoring American player ever. Hasek because no one was able to score on him. They're all very, very good candidates. I think they'll all get in. It's very hard for me not to see guys like Forsberg out of the Hall of Fame. If Forsberg has a boot named after him, that's enough.
All right, Tuck, thanks for coming on, giving us a few minutes.
All right, no problem.
See you again next week.
See ya.
Have a good one.
You too.
You catch Jeremy every Monday on the fifth quarter. When we come back, we're going to do a little Jets second half preview. There's a lot that needs to be improved, but there are bright spots in this team, and we'll get into all of it. We'll be with you till 3 o'clock. Right now, here is 3 Days Grace once again with the High Road.